Good morning. Student, today I would like to telling about salt. It is a compound which is formed by the replacement of hydrogen ion. When acid reacted with metal, then salt is formed. When acid reacted with base, salt is formed. So common salt is sodium chloride. It is the best example of salt. Salt can be classified on the basis of pH. It can be also classified on the basis of the family of salt. On the basis of pH, natural salt, acidic salt and basic salt. Neutral salt are those salt which are formed by strong acid and strong base. When sodium hydroxide reacted with hydrochloric acid, then sodium chloride and water is formed. Sodium chloride is formed by a complete transfer of hydrogen ion, and acidic salt are those salt which is formed by the strong acid and weak base. For example, hydrochloric acid and ammonium hydroxide interact, ammonium chloride and water is formed. Third is basic salt. Basic salt are those salt, they are formed by the interaction of strong base and weak acid, sodium hydroxide and carbonic acid react to form a basic salt, sodium hydroxide. Now classification based on the family of salt, like the salt of sodium, salt of chloride ion, salt of sulfate ion, salt of nitrate ion, salt of acetate ion. These are the family of salt on which salt are classified. Now a special type of salt which is known as double salt. These salt are formed by the combining of two salt like potassium, when K2SO4 and Al2SO4 whole 3 in combined with to form alum. This is called to be Fitkri. Their formula will be K2SO4, Al2SO4 ka whole 3 and 24H2O. Thus, the chemical from the common salt. How this valuable salt are obtaining from the common salt? First, we should knowing that how these common salt are obtaining. They are obtaining from the sea water through the evaporations, and we getting impure salt, and by crystallizations process we are getting pure sodium chloride. Now we know that sodium chloride, that is a common salt, is used as a raw material for various chemical compounds, and this chemical compound is very useful. So that's why they are referred as a commercial salt. Now, how can we prepare sodium hydroxide? By passing current electricity on a brine. What is a brine? Brine is a watery solution of sodium chloride. And then sodium hydroxide, chlorine and hydrogen gas is obtained. Hydrogen obtained at cathode and chlorine collected at anode. This process is known as chloroalkali process, because chloro means chlorine, alkali means sodium hydroxide. So that's why this process is called to be chloroalkali process. This chlorine is very valuable. When this chlorine is passed on calcium hydroxide, then bleaching powder is formed. This is a very valuable compound at 40-degree temperature. When chlorine gas pass into calcium hydroxide, then bleaching powder is formed. Now we are talking about baking soda. When the mixture of ammonia and carbon dioxide pass on brine, we already know that brine is a watery mixture of sodium chloride. Then after interaction, ammonium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate is formed. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is a very valuable compound. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is a very
useful compound which is used for making tasty crispy pakora, that is a baking soda. But when this baking soda mixed with mild acid, then this baking soda known as baking powder. Before this, we are talking about sodium hydrogen carbonate. By heating sodium hydrogen carbonate, we are getting sodium carbonate and water and carbon dioxide. This sodium carbonate interacted with 10 water of molecule, that is goes for water of crystallization, that is goes for the crystallization process. Then it forms sodium carbonate decahydrated. This sodium carbonate decahydrated is known as washing soda. This is a very valuable compound and it is a basic salt. Now this sodium bicarbonate, we have already told that this sodium bicarbonate is used to making baking powder. How baking powder can be prepared? Baking powder prepared by adding mild acid like tartaric acid to the sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda, to form baking powder. And without this mild acid, our cake, edible food is not sweet, it becomes bitter in taste. Now, what is the water of crystallization? Water of crystallization is a fixed number of water molecule in a one formula unit. We find that copper sulfate containing fixed water molecule 5H2O and washing soda containing fixed number of water molecule 10H2O, and plaster of Paris contain half water molecule and gypsum contain twice water molecule. So water of crystallization is a fixed number of water of molecule in a one formula molecule. Now we know that plaster of Paris is a calcium sulfate half H2O. This is known as plaster of Paris. This plaster of Paris is a white powder, and when mixing with water, it forms gypsum, and this gypsum is a strong substance. So that's why this plaster of Paris being used to making statue, and doctor use as a plaster for supporting fractured bone. Now when heating this gypsum strongly 373 K, it convert into plaster of Paris.